All right, friends. Recap from today. I did a whole lot of slouching. I didn't sit with very good posture the whole time, but it just shows how comfortable I am with you guys. Um, and I want to tell you how much I care about you. I turn off the fan for these videos in my hot ass house, and that shows a lot of love. I don't even turn the fan off for my wife, so there you go. I've got, oh, you'll never be able to read this, so I'll tell you all about it. These are the 6 questions we asked for our why. If you didn't want to watch the whole recap, I recorded it, but it takes a while for Zoom to go to my email with a recorded version. So let's just go through this quick recap. Make a list of pros and cons, and this is specifically your why for sustainable fitness practices. So make a list of pros and cons of the way that a sustainable fitness practice works into your life. Include everything, like all the stories you're telling yourself about why you do have energy and it's worth it, and then all the stories you tell yourself about why you don't have energy and why it's not worth it and why it's not gonna work and all that. After you got that big old list, 2 columns going down, what you're gonna do is circle all the excuses. Can't do it because type stuff. A lot of times these sometimes are ones that you can tell. General rule of thumb is if your neighbor down the block can do it, and this isn't to say like if your neighbor down the block is doing it, why can't you? But it lets us know if it's an excuse, if normal people can do this thing, versus like in the talk I talked about Elon Musk, like why am I not building a underground tunnel underneath Los Angeles? Because that's just so far out of my scope. That's an Elon Musk thing. That's not a me thing, and it never will be, and that's okay. So circle your excuses. Test that with the average person. Can an average person do this? Yes or no? Circle fears and limiting beliefs. Fears are pretty easy to see. They include like the failure words, the I don't know if I can type things. The I don't know if I can means that you're just nervous. You're already projecting that you might not be able to, and you're scared of that feeling. Honor that. It's okay. None of these cons are bad things. They're just the stories we're telling ourselves. They tell us more about ourselves and where we can do work. Circle your fears and limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm too tall, I'm too short, I'm too old, young, big, small. All the things that are relatively arbitrary, and some of the things are just who we are. I am of a slight frame. My wrists are freaking tiny, my ankles are tiny. I will never play competition rugby. It's okay, totally okay. But I could play rec league rugby. So the idea is find your, I get so off topic, find your limiting beliefs and cross them out. Be honest about your priorities. So if you say, make a short list of your priorities and say that it's career, kids, wife, dog, so-and-so. Think about how not taking action might affect your career, your kids, your wife, your dog, and we're going to get a little bit further into this when I talk about number 6. So just think about if you have things that are getting in the way of your sustainable fitness, think about how sustainable fitness would help you with those things. Use those pros. So once you've got a big list of pros, then take a separate index card or anything like that, write out that list and hold on to it. This is your motivation of why you're doing what you're doing when it sucks, when you don't have the energy for it, when you're not super stoked about it, all those things. This is pretty important. And then number 6, if all that wasn't enough, consider the pain of not taking action. So for me, I went on with the example of I don't keep up with my strength, fitness, mobility, abilities now. I'm not going to be able to play with my kid that I don't even have yet, that doesn't even exist, my imaginary someday kid. I won't be able to sprint with Mac. I won't be able to um, just hike down into the crater of Haleakala and then hike back out, despite not really training to do that. Like, I'd lose the abilities, and that in itself is what it is. But what would be worse is the pain of saying out loud, I can't do that, or the pain of my kids seeing me pull my back out because I hadn't gotten up and down off the ground with them. Like, I hadn't gotten up and down off the ground often, and I pulled something, or sprained something, or slipped a disc. We're fragile humans, and if we don't do some of the work that I'm talking about, there will be pain in the future. And that's not to be scary, it's just part of our journey, I suppose. And then another one, I have felt the pain of being very conscious about my image. What I told the group is, I really don't care now. I wear big floppy hats and short shorts and like 2 different shades of gray that don't match at all. Like, I'm married and I'm 40. I don't really care about how I look. But I do think that if I let myself gain a lot of body weight, not on purpose, and I say that because body fat itself is not the enemy. We are not fat shaming at all, ever. As a matter of fact, when I got my strongest, I gained body fat so I could move more weights and get stronger and get bigger muscles faster. It wasn't bad, it just was what it was. But if I gained a lot of body weight unintentionally because of neglecting my diet or anything like that, I feel that I would possibly feel the pain that I felt when I was younger and I had gained a lot of body fat from prednisone steroids, as well as just a lot of emotional eating and things like that. So I can't say that I absolutely would. I'd still love myself, but I do think that glimmer of pain would come back that I experienced when I was younger. We are, just a collection of our experiences and our memories, our fondest ones, as well as our traumas, and we can't ignore that. So this is my process into figuring out my why. So pros and cons, circle your excuses, circle fears and limiting beliefs, be honest about your priorities, and then consider how not taking action would affect your priorities. Write a new list of all those pros and latch onto it like it's the last thing on earth, and then consider the pain. Some people are more motivated by that anyway. So just look at how it would hurt either to stay the same or to backslide or to get worse over the years from inaction. I hope that is useful. Peace, friends.